Hey guys, this is Kevin from JazTime.com. JazTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you want to know the price of the watch, simply click on the links in the description below. If you enjoy our videos, we greatly appreciate it if you would buy a watch from JazTime.com once in a while. So today we're going to be reviewing the Rolex GMT-Master II. This is also the nickname Rootbeer. This is the model number 126711, and it was recently released last year in 2018 at the Basel World Show. We'll be going over the dial, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. So jumping right into the dial, we have the standard Rolex black dial, standard black sports piece black dial with the maxi hour markers, which are the circular hour markers with indices at the 6, 9, and the triangular 12 o'clock position. These are all lume filled, so it's filled with a highly legible chroma-light display with long-lasting blue luminescence. So you have easy visibility at night, being able to see the glow in the dark from the hour markers, the hour hand with the Mercedes hour hand, and the minute hand as well, along with the additional GMT hand, as this is a GMT watch with the lume at the triangular tip as well. One thing to mention specifically for this GMT-Master II is we have the GMT-Master II name in a brown text. This watch is actually sort of a throwback, calling back to the original 1970s Rootbeer, which had the sort of brown coloring as you see here on the bottom of the bezel, but also paired with either a full brown bezel or even a brown and tan sort of half-half, and that was the really early models that had the full brown, and then it moved on to the half brown, half tan, with the actual 24-hour scale being in a brown as well. And the other addition was that for the dial, back then you had the choice between a beautiful brown sunburst dial or also a black dial, as you see here. Unfortunately for this model, updated model, we're only looking at the black dial. There's no available brown dial. And for the bracelet, we have the Oyster style bracelet, when it also used to have the choice of the Oyster or Jubilee. But then again, we do have the newer GMT that does have the Jubilee bracelet as well. The Batman is on a Jubilee bracelet, so that's pretty nice to take a look at as well. But for now, going back to the Rootbeer at hand, absolutely beautiful watch. As I mentioned, hour markers fashioned in the 18 karat Ever Rose Gold. You'll actually see the hints and tones of the Ever Rose Gold all throughout the watch, as this is a two-tone watch, being 904L steel, as you can see by the steel in the case, and also the Ever Rose just sort of popping from the hour markers to even the numerals, the numerals on a 24-hour scale, the crown, and even on the bracelet as well. It all works very nicely, as the original Rootbeer was a two-tone yellow gold watch with the brown coloring, but now we have the ability to see that beautiful brown bezel with that Ever Rose Gold, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous and complements each other very, very nicely. So of course we have on the dial, the last thing is just the 3 o'clock position. We have the Cyclops lens on top of the sapphire crystal, and I do apologize about the minute hand blocking here. Let me go ahead and move that out of the way so you can see the magnification of that date. There we are. And there we are. So the Cyclops lens provides the magnification and protection for the dial, and you can see that 1.5 magnification on the date window itself, making it very easy and very simplistic to read. For the additional GMT hand, which is the additional hour hand, as the GMT allows for the tracking of 2 additional time zones in conjunction with the 24-hour scaled bezel. The standard GMT, the 116713, is actually the regular standard two-tone GMT that's actually discontinued now because of a newer style release this year in 2019. It used to have a sort of green colored hand, green colored stick hand instead of being completely gold. But on the Rootbeer, we have this completely Ever Rose gold hand, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. With the contrast against the black and the white from the lume, it just looks very nicely all together. All right, so moving on to the bezel now. The bezel is a Cerachrome bezel, which is also Rolex's fancy way of saying it is a ceramic bezel. It's bidirectional rotatable. That means you can switch in both sides, so you can go left or right to adjust the time zone however you like. Specifically, I won't show you how to adjust the time zone in this video. We do have standalone videos on showing you the exact mechanics on how to adjust that time zone yourself. But it is a two-colored ceramic bezel, so the brown on the bottom and the black on the top, and that's actually a significant thing. Most people would probably just gloss over it as, oh, it looks nice, it's just half brown, half black, a little unique, but actually it's part of the bezel function as well. Starting from the 6 all the way around to the 18, that actually indicates the for the time zone, or wherever the hand is pointing, this is actually daytime, and then the other half, obviously being black, is nighttime. So small little detail there that some people kind of skip over, but it's actually pretty interesting. The bezel itself is also 18 karat ever rose gold as well. You can see all around that edge there. Nice riveted edges, so you can grip it much more easily to adjust the bezel instead of having it slip and slide through your fingers. So you'll be able to grip it easily, and also have that beautiful ever rose gold all throughout, nicely high polished. All right, so moving on to the case now. As I mentioned before, the case, we have a two-tone case. Starting from the first link, we have the 18 karat ever rose gold and the 904 steel for the rest of the casing. Nice high polish on the ever rose gold, but using a brush polish instead on the sides of the casing of the lugs, which is kind of interesting in itself, because typically when Rolex does go into a nice high polish for the links themselves, it's usually paired with a high polish on the lugs, but instead they opted to go with a nice sand finish on the lugs itself, and then going into the high polish with the center link. So a little bit more sportier than normal, just a tiny touch up on that. The side of the case, however, is still a high polish, with the high polish matching very nicely with the bracelet. The sizing of the case, we're looking at 40 millimeters. So from my index finger to my thumb here, that's 40 millimeters in diameter. The side profile, wants to show you that once more, it's a little bit larger than your typical Rolex sports piece. I mean, comparing to the Submariner, just because it has an additional complication of being able to have that additional hour hand, as I indicated multiple times already. So one thing to mention, so for the ever rose gold, the ever rose gold is actually a special type of rose gold made by Rolex. Typical rose gold has a additional copper content added to a gold mixture, which sort of gives it that red look. So the Rolex's ever rose gold is a little bit not as sharp to say as other ever rose golds and on other watches, where it's like much more red. But there's a downside to that, so you can get that very hard, very beautiful red from the other ones, but that does fade over time. Rolex ever rose gold is a little bit a little bit more pinker. It is not as red as some other brands, but that's because they actually have a different metal mixture that allows it to stay that same color throughout its lifetime. So this ever rose gold that you see on the bezel, the crown, on the bracelet, that's going to stay. That's not going to fade over time or anything like that. It'll keep that nice mellow color, and it really does complement the brown on the bezel, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The 904L steel that Rolex uses is an in-house made steel also as well. So everything in-house made just absolutely works very flawlessly together. That 904L steel actually has a little bit more shine than the industry standard, which I believe is a 316 steel. Okay, so moving on to the other side of the case now, we have this nice high polish on the crown guards. You can see starting from the crown guards around, and that same patterning down to the bracelet. The Rolex crown logo, one small thing to note, you see there's 3 little dots here right underneath the crown logo. It actually states that this crown is a twin lock double waterproofness system, whereas the dressier watch, such as the Datejust and such, have a twin lock waterproofness system. So additional lock. Not too sure what exactly that means because this watch only still has a water resistance of 100 meters or 330 feet. Still, that's more than enough for the typical average person. I really doubt most of you are going to be diving with a GMT in your hand. But if you did, that's how far you can go, 100 meters or 330 feet. And that's for the crown, of course, screwed nice and tight in against a case. I've unwound the crown counterclockwise to open it up so I can show you the functions of the crown now. So in the standard position is where you can actually wind the watch. About 15 to 20 winds is all you need to get the watch started once more. Pulling out the crown to the next position will activate a feature for specifically the GMT, and that's the quick hour jump, being able to adjust the hour hand very quickly, very easily. That's to use in conjunction with being able to set the additional time zone. However, the only tiny con is that it doesn't have the instant changing of the date. You have to do 2 full revolutions, obviously for a 24-hour period, in order to be able to adjust the date, as you can see as I've been doing. So let's go ahead and move that back into position there. And in the final position, you'll be able to stop the second hand, which has stopped right here, just right below the 9 o'clock position. And you'll be able to adjust the hands bidirectionally as shown. And that'll also allow you to adjust the additional GMT hand as well. So moving that back to position here. Let's go to 10 and 2, or 2 and 10. Close enough. All right, so pushing that back in, we'll start that second hand once more. You can see at the 9 o'clock position, it's starting to move once more. Screwing the crown nice and tight in against the case. Always make sure that's nice and tight, as you want to keep that water resistance, as I mentioned again, 100 meters or 330 feet. So moving on to the bracelet now, as I mentioned before, for the previous older style model back from the 1970s, they did have the Jubilee option, but this newer updated model only comes on the Oyster style bracelet, but it's still a very beautiful bracelet for this watch. As you can see, nice satin finish, brushed steel on the outer of the 3-piece links, center links, nicely high polish of that ever rose gold going throughout the clasp and moving all the way throughout. Keeping that same patterning on the links. You can see that very beautiful tapering from the first link downwards to fit on the wrist very comfortably. Moving on to the clasp now. The clasp is your typical sporty style clasp, which is the safety folding oyster lock, as noted here by the little lock from the Rolex logo. You can open that up, and that sits on top of the folding oyster that opens up as well, revealing this nicely, beautifully high polished clasp blades with the Rolex name embossed on the clasp blade itself there. So that's how the watch looks opened up. And then closed back down. Of course, obviously, nice, beautiful curvature of the clasp, so it fits very comfortably on the wrist. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the movement now. So the movement is housed in this simple oyster case backing. The movement itself has been updated. It is now a 3285 movement, whereas the previous predecessor ran a 3185 movement. And that's a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement, of course, with the functions of the GMT movement, the stopping the second hand, and the usage of the standard hour, minute, and seconds hand, and changing of the date, with the hour hand being shifted 24 hours in a revolution. The precision of this watch, we're looking at +2, -2 seconds a day, and that's boasted at the 6 o'clock position here, right underneath that beautiful beautiful brown GMT-Master II logo there, with the superlative chronometer officially certified by Rolex, where Rolex does their own in-house testing after getting Swiss specs testing. Where typical COSC specifications, I believe, is +4. +4 are rather -4 +6 seconds a day. So Rolex is keeping it very quality, making it a -2 +2 seconds a day of testing before sending it out, or rather sending any of their watches out. So what has been updated from the 3285 from the 3185? Well, there's been 2 major updates, and one update that's sort of continuously happening with most of the Rolex movements moving forward is that they changed the escapement to a Chrono G escapement. It's an in-house made escapement escapement made by Rolex. It has a skeletonized is skeletonized to prevent any additional inertia, so it helps keep precise timekeeping, and also that escapement was also made of a nickel phosphorus as well, and that's paired very nicely with the parachrome blue hairspring, and both of those two things help the watch have additional resistance against magnetism, as magnetism does affect the movement of the watch, causes it to run too quickly, or mainly just too quickly is the key issue with magnetism. The power reserve has been updated as well. It used to be a 50-hour power reserve. Now we're looking at a power reserve of approximately 70 hours, meaning you can put this watch down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Monday afternoon, and it'll be keeping time just fine. All right, now let me actually go ahead and show you this watch on my wrist now. So we're gonna go ahead and find that safety folding oyster clasp, open that up, close that down, and there we are. So as you can see, not your standard Rolex look, but absolutely gorgeous. Just that brown with the ever rose gold, just a match made in heaven that no one really thought about, but Rolex did, and how they presented it, absolutely flawless. Just a nice little touch. I always love that nice little touch on the coloring of the GMT-Master II there, as other models such as the 50th anniversary Cedrola has a little touch of red for its model. It just looks absolutely nice just to have that little bit of contrast. The brown just looks absolutely gorgeous throughout, and this is a very one-of-a-kind piece, very unique. And if you're interested in this specific watch, check out our website at JazTime.com. We have the lowest prices guaranteed. We offer a 1-year warranty. And if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video. Click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at JazTime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.